Welcome to T to the C. Now listen, I have to say something to President Bush. Maybe I'll use this pipe. President Bush, I saw your speech last night. What's going on, President Bush? Is it the advisors? Is it the speechwriters? It's not funny. There are people like myself who are out here trying to defend you. I agree with what you're trying to do in Iraq, but you can't come out and hold a press conference and then not have answers to the questions. It makes you look bad. It makes me look bad. If you need a writer, I'll be glad to help you out. When you speak about the June 30th handover and a reporter asks you, who's it going to be handed over to? You can't say, I don't know. Do you think it's a cliffhanger? It's not The Apprentice. We want to know ahead of time. Secondly, don't bring Cheney with you to the 9/11 Commission. If you do, it can only be for one reason. You know, so have him text message you out of anything. But if you bring him, what you're basically saying to the American people is, I know this looks bad, but it would look worse if it was just me, believe me. I watched you last night. You're in the middle of a nervous breakdown, from what I can see. You gotta get me on board, boy, or you are going down. Well, President Bush gave a primetime news conference last night. He had a tough evening. Look at this.
Later, do you feel any sense of personal responsibility for September 11th?
Do you believe the American people deserve a similar apology?
How do you answer the Vietnam comparison?
How do you explain to Americans how you got that so wrong?
You never admit a mistake. Is that a fair criticism?
Yeah. Will it have been worth it even if you lose your job because of it?
I don't.
Wow.
They were just trying to get a nice fat soundbite out of him where he'd just say something that they could just like.
Good to see the media's not liberal, huh? Yeah.
That's a good point.
I actually didn't think he came off that bad until the question started. When it was actual, I really didn't. The speech itself, though, me and Nick were talking about this. I actually think that he was actually very sincere in his speech, but he just doesn't respond well to that kind of pressure, which I'm not saying is a good thing for an American president to not handle pressure well. But I thought that he made a good case in the opening speech.
This is a witch hunt by the Democrats.
Well, the 9/11 kid. You took the line. Go ahead.
Yeah, the 9/11.
He's the president. He's the commander-in-chief. It's like a business. You take responsibility. All he has to say is, look, this happened on my watch, and I'm sorry, I'm going to try to fix it. 9/11.
He shouldn't take responsibility.
That's not his watch.
He can just say, I'm sorry, I'm in charge of the military.
I disagree, too.
Why? Because he's in office 8 months. Clinton was in 8 years.
No, but even Clinton.
Yeah.
Clinton, that's why.
But there's... The fact that we're trying to blame other Americans for 9/11 just shows where we're at in this country.
I understand that's wrong, too, but that's the topic, so let's go with it.
He's the bright.
What do you mean?
Here's the problem.
The topic is... No, but my opinion on the topic...
You can't blame Bush. He's just not the smartest guy. When he got the memo and he read the word attacks, he probably thought it was about the IRS.
Yeah, let him laugh, stupid. Folks, first of all, they didn't laugh. They applauded because it was an uncomfortable moment.
No, it wasn't.
You made a pun, you moron.
I did.
Go ahead.
It was a pun.
That wasn't a joke. It was a pun.
Listen, you're right. Haircut 20 years too young for you.
20 years? Maybe 18.
It looks good. Contra Gugu.
I like it, boss. I don't care about what the
Thanks, Ralph.
Suck some more ass, Ralphie.
Hey, I'm trying over here to get a regular gig, Mr. Regular Gig, okay? Shut up. Okay, all right. Okay.
Well, here we go.
I like it.
They love me.
They do.
I like an honest man. I'm trying to regular gig, Mr. Regular.
I think this, the whole thing with this with questions was kind of pimp. They kept on trying to corner him. He kept on dodging it like a ninja. It was great. Your mistake? No, never heard of him.
Right.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, they were definitely trying to hit him, hammer him. But even his opening speech, it's like, I don't know who writes for him, but it's uninspired, you know, and the way he says it, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's just the whole thing is just reeks of a guy who's cracking up.
One thing I'm tired of is hearing about how it's not about a religion, it's about a political ideology. No, stupid, it's about a religion, all right? When you crash a plane at the buildings, you get 72 virgins in heaven, not a tax refund. It's about a religion.
Was that a slam on the Jews?
No. Sick of Islam being defended.
Shut up, stupid. I was making a joke, not a pun.
No,
that's why you didn't get it and they got it.
They're busting his balls about this memo that he got on August 6th, you know? It said bin Laden wanted to attack inside the United States.
Right.
wasn't really specific. It's not like it was an invitation to, you know, Al Qaeda Palooza. Show up and window of the world.
Yeah, I think this whole 9/11 thing is ridiculous, disgrace. Like you said, it's what are we trying to prove? Who's responsible? And the bottom line is, if you want to have a country like we have, where you don't want to step on people's civil liberties, then certain things get left open. It's just a balance that sometimes stuff happens that way.
It's not the right time to be looking back and pointing
exactly.
fingers.
Clinton or Bush, I don't think
They
either
did
one
that to
of them.
Clinton. Arguably, this all happened because of Monica Lewinsky. He was so distracted by this thing that Osama got out of hand. And the same thing's going to happen now with the 9/11 Commission. You know what that's going to be famous for? Is like distracting Bush. And then we'll be sleeping when 4/11 or 9/13 or whatever it happens. When these animals strike again, it'll all be because this guy's so stressed out. You can see how stressed out he is.
His hair's here yesterday when he came out.
I'm getting tired of hearing about how the Iraqi people...
You get tired a lot, don't you?
I really do. I'm very sleepy. I'm sick of hearing about the fortitude.
Now, that's something you don't want to see.
What? I haven't liked you since you froze Han Solo.
I didn't see that moment.
That was a good one, Golden Child.
Yeah,
Don't pick on my friend, you penis with ears.
Go ahead.
That's not important. No, I wanted to say that I'm getting tired of the Iraqi people and hearing about what fortitude they have. What's his name? Al-Sadr, the guy who's the militia leader.
Apple cider.
Apple. Oh, at least it's not a pun.
I really hurt you with that one, didn't I? Stupid. Go ahead.
I'm just developing a real hatred for them because his father, I can understand like a lot of the people who were, I think what the Sunnis are the ones that were for Saddam fighting American troops because they're losing their guy and they're losing a lot by us ousting Saddam.
The parent, Edith, the parent.
You really are old. I'm sick and tired of this guy. His father was murdered by Saddam's people.
Right.
And now the U.S. overthrows Saddam, and
Right.
now he's attacking our forces. Now the more I hear about the Iraqi people, the more I understand Saddam Hussein, and the more I understand why he was gassing them. Because they're awful people.
But it's only, I mean, the problem is that the news prints it like it's the Iraqi people. It's only a
Well,
split.
they're not Irishmen.
No, but I'm saying the news comes over and says, there's an uprising. Iraq hates us. Most of the people want us there, but nobody says that.
Just the whole city of Fallujah, the entire Sunni triangle, they hate our guts.
No.
That's a small percentage of the whole nation.
The whole country-
Very
the
small.
whole country is
it's like the
embarrassing.
Crips and the Bloods. It's people of color. They're a problem everywhere.
We'll be right back. One in, and I was trying to set up a double shot to do entertainment.
Mabel King
I'm an
is-
entertainer, you. What's that?
Mabel King is a better pool shooter with her leg.
Mabel King. Do you know who that is, folks? No, you don't, because you're not 90 like this idiot. You call me old? Because of the escalating drug-related turf war, officials in Brazil are planning to enclose 2 dangerous slums with a 10-foot wall. Here's a quote from the deputy governor of Rio, and I'll do the Brazilian accent. The wall won't be put an end to the violence in the slums, but if we don't contain it, it will destroy the surrounding forest, the economy of Rio de Janeiro, and the lives of the city's residents. He says the J, I don't know why. We can no longer watch passively. It needs to be built urgently. What do you guys think about this now?
That's a good point. We should do it around East Brooklyn.
Only he knows East Brooklyn.
That's the next step here, actually. Why don't they do what we do here, which is put gates around the rich
The rich
neighborhoods?
people. It's a gated community. Put a roof on it, and it's a prison.
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we build a wall around the whole city, then we have Kurt Russell come in here and get the president?
Write it
Once
up, write
again,
it up.
I'm glad to see I'm not the only old reference bastard. You're this
I
couch
didn't
alone.
get one of these yet.
Well, I happen to,
Escape from
as
the
someone who's been to Rio,
As a worker
Yes.
and a liberator. Go ahead.
As a whore.
that's pretty much the point. Yeah, I don't really care if they wall off the slums or not, as long as the prostitutes can get to my hotel room. And it's not about, by the way...
Jim, that's where the ugly American phrase comes
No,
from.
but I was only kidding. I really didn't mean that.
What about the Gracie brothers?
I don't know them. I hear they're uncut and in good shape.
They are.
That's the
This
end
looks
of...
like Rich Voss on spring break.
One of the greatest things in life when you're a kid is driving around with your dad at the rich neighborhoods, being able to go wherever you want. How do poor people ever going to rise above it if they're caged in like animals?
With a ladder.
Well, but wait, the other, this is a perfect example of a world problem. Let's get serious for 1 second. Look, he got these kids in his neighborhood, but on the one hand, you said, oh yeah, they're walling in the community. On the other hand, if they're really ruining Rio's economy and they're out there apparently going wild every day, so then everybody's going to be poor. So what is the solution?
So where's the argument? I don't even see the debate
the argument
here.
is, on the one hand, you're saying, what about all the people that are stuck with these psychopaths in a war community? They happen to live there, but they're not in the gangs. I mean, that's pretty...
Well, you can still come and go, right? There's doors.
Right, but it does kind of make it like a place where it's like, hey, man...
I love stuff like this. I like security fences.
Right.
I like guards. I like, you know the rubber things at the supermarket that divide the food between the idiot behind? I love that stuff. That's the best invention of all time. Those are your eggs. This is my milk. Stay away from me, you see. Makes it for a nice, clean world.